Hello, my name is Razan Valle, and I am going to be presenting you with the oral portion of the practicum. And this is my oral defense. I've chosen to um, talk about this particular um, scenario, which is that I am a technology coordinator for a large school district in Texas, and I'm developing a newsletter for school level technology coordinators and just describing some of the professional organizations that are available for educators and educational technologists. And I've chosen to describe three different organizations, professional organizations, and we'll start with the Association for Educational Communications and Technology. It is normally called AECT for a shortened version, of course, because it's a pretty long name. But this is an international organization that provides international forums for dissemination and exchange of ideas among its members and target audiences. And the target audiences are obviously going to be primarily our students, as well as any kind of instructional designers who are developing instructional materials. So the AECT holds an annual convention, and this year's convention is going to be in Vegas. And I'm actually going to be presenting at this convention some of the ideas and some of the projects that I've worked on through our IDEP program as a graduate assistant. But every year they do hold an annual convention, and it's a place for people to come learn new things about educational technology as well as possibly present. One of the great things about the AECT is that they also publish to print bi-monthly journals. And really, the bi-monthly journals are print. They're typically only found in print, and they're called Educational Technology Research and Development and Tech Trends. Now, those are the two print journals. However, they also have three electronic journals, which are the Journal of Formative Design in Learning, the Journal of Applied Instructional Design, and the International Journal of Designs for Learning. So there are multiple ways, multiple journals that are available to members of the AECT. And there are also print and electronic versions so that you aren't tied down to one specific method of delivery. The second society or organization that I'd like to talk about is the International Society for the Learning Sciences, or ISLS as it is commonly known. It is a professional society that has a wide interdisciplinary membership. And as you can see in this description, it includes members from cognitive science, educational psychology, computer science, anthropology, sociology, information sciences, neurosciences, education, design studies, the list goes on and on. So this is, in my opinion, one of the more important societies or organizations. If I had to choose absolutely one, I would want to possibly focus on the ISLS only because there is such a wide range of disciplines and that focus on the same topics. And so it's really interesting from an education standpoint to see how other educators teach their material and how they incorporate technology into their material. And so to me, this is probably one of the better organizations, although the AECT itself is great and typically stays in the North American region. But I do think the ISLS offers a lot more. One of the things that I like about the ISLS is that it produces two different journals, the Journal of the Learning Sciences, which is right here. This is their page. And there are multiple articles that you can read. There is a lot of thought that goes into these journal articles. I kind of skimmed through some of them, and it just seems like there is a lot of material to dig through, which can be a little bit excessive. But when you are talking about a multidisciplinary environment where there are multiple ideas, thought processes, and different ways of doing things, it would be abnormal to not have so many articles, but there are quite a bit of articles in this journal. They also produce the International Journal of Computer Supported Collaborative Learning. And so those two journals are available to you if you become a member. And so you would have to become a member in order to have access to all of the journal articles. They also produce two conference series, the International Conference of the Learning Sciences and the International Conference on Computer Supported Collaborative Learning. So the fact that they have these multiple conferences is really beneficial to instructional designers and educational technologists, because that's where you go network. That's where you're able to meet new people, get new ideas, and truly grow in what you are doing and in your capacity. So, what I found about the ISLS is that it's devoted to expanding the impact and the relevance of the field and its existing potentials and future potentials. And it seems from my research that it really does focus a lot on growth and the potential that is out there for instructional technology. And the third society or organization that I wanted to focus on is the ISTE, which is, you can see it here in the, it's kind of cut off, sorry, but this is an international society that focuses on a global community. So we're not just focusing on North America, we're focusing on a global community of educators that believe in the power of technology to transform teaching and learning and to accelerate innovation and solve tough problems in education. Um, I did not find too much information as far as the journals that they have to offer. They do offer two different journals: the Journal of Research on Technology and Education and the Journal of Digital Learning and Teacher Education. However, um, the two peer-reviewed journals are only accessible through subscription. So in order for you to read any of these, you do have to have a subscription. You can browse some of the abstracts, but you won't be able to actually read the entire thing. So that's one of the things I did not like about the ISTE, um, as opposed to, say, the ISLS, where you do have access to the majority of their journal articles just by joining or at least going to their website. Um, so these are the three professional organizations that I was really interested in talking about, which is the ACTE, and that is, or I'm sorry, the AECT, the Association for Educational Communications and Technology, the ISLS, or the International Society of the Learning Sciences, and the ISTE. And so these are the primary organizations that I think would benefit the school district and educational technologists. Because as a school district, we want to continuously expand our capabilities. We want to be able to provide our students with the best possible education and the best tools to expand their education and to supplement the education. They're nowadays, with students being so tech savvy, having a classroom that does not incorporate any kind of technology into the learning is almost mundane and boring. And so these societies are going to allow us to have a little bit more access to ideas, to different types of practices that we may not know much about, also giving us the ability to network with people that are in the societies or the organizations, being able to go to these conferences or read the publications and become more familiar with the different types of new developments that are happening in the field is very, very important for us as a school district. So, in my opinion, of the three, I think the ISLS is probably one of the better organizations for accessing information. However, the AECT also provides quite a bit of in-depth information, lots of resources, lots of online resources. Notice here on the AECT website, you're able to look up different journals. You can look up through books as well, but you can look through each type of journal and kind of find what you're interested in. So for instance, the Journal of Formative Design and Learning. So this is a journal that you could access as a member, and it collaborates between researchers and practitioners of the learning process. So it's a journal that kind of combines two different aspects of education together. And so there are lots of resources through the AECT. As you can see, the AECT also partners with multiple educational partners in North America, which is very important. And again, because this is a local association or organization, it is definitely more based on the education system in the US. However, when you start looking into the ISLS, and you start looking at the different journals, the different articles, the books that they release, there are going to be articles in there that maybe don't work with our current education system, but could help us expand our ideas of what we can do for the education system. So this is pretty much my breakdown of what I think we should be using for our instructional technologists, educational technologists as a resource, as professional organizations. I think it's really important for us to have access to these and also to continue to expand our membership in them, possibly by presenting. Maybe we can start presenting once every year or two as a school district with multiple presenters, one from maybe each school, where we discuss how we've incorporated the ideas that we found in these organizations, the ideas that we've been able to expose ourselves to by incorporating them into the classroom and maybe presenting them at one of their conventions or conferences. And I think that that would be a really great way for us to ingratiate ourselves into the field of educational technology and in the most modern and the most current way, and not just depending on articles that we read from other contributors. Because I think that the most important thing for us as educational technologists is to be able to expand the field, to grow it, to introduce new ideas, to incorporate those ideas, and to eventually change it, to change the way we teach, to change the way that we are reaching these students and impacting them. And I think that that's a really important thing as an educational technologist. Um, and the best way to do that is to incorporate these types of organizations into our daily work life, and to start expanding upon what we're doing in the classroom based on these types of organizations and what they provide to us. So I hope this information was explanatory enough for you to kind of start thinking about these organizations. Again, it's the AECT, the Association for Educational Communications and Technology, the ISLS, the International Society of the Learning Sciences, and the ISTE. And there are multiple other organizations that you could be a part of or that you could look into. But in my opinion, these three really encompass what we are looking for in our school district and what we are looking for growth in the future and for expansion of our educational technology. And I hope that you've enjoyed this very brief presentation. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. There will be more information sent out via email to each of you regarding this information. And at some point, we are hoping that the district will support us by paying for our membership as educational technologists across the district to one of these organizations, if not all of the organizations that I've mentioned. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.